Today we're talking about Success 2026, preparing and pursuing federal work. That's what we do, right, Rafa?
All day.
All day long. All right, let me see if I can get my polls working. I forgot all about that. Glad I'm doing this as like a test run for my
Now he'll be somewhere everywhere. I'm
telling you the truth. All right, hold on a second. Let's get to know. I don't know what's happening.
While he's getting that set up, if you have questions as we go through this, the Q&A is monitored, and you can also pop them into chat, and we will do our best to either discuss them direct in the chat or Q&A or wide for everybody to hear. So
love it.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. I did find it. That's good news, right? I'm getting my act together. Are you brand spanking new? Maybe you're around for 20 plus years. So that's what we like to know. And then if you have any federal business, that includes direct grants or business with contracts, or maybe you're just subbing. And what problem are you trying to solve today? We might even crack that open, guys, and see what everybody's talking about today. And if you have something that you want to talk about, we will open it up. I do have some hot seat questions today, and we will get down there. We'll talk a little bit about what happened in 2025, what to expect in 2026, and how you can prepare and pursue for what you're doing. Here's the hot seat questions, guys. What are contractors' biggest challenges you can throw in too? Everybody here can throw in what your challenge is, and what thing can contractors do today to win business in fiscal year 2025. We also will have additional bonuses and how Sam Radar can help you, because we have some Sam Radar members here today. Quick disclaimer, we're not affiliated with anybody, are we, Rafa?
Absolutely not.
We don't even know who we are, really.
What's your name, Dave?
We don't even know. So but it's provided to you for informational purposes only. It does not guarantee a contract award, believe it or not. We do have a system that guarantees contract awards, but not here. So if we have any Govies here, we love Govies. And if you're participating with us, it's not a commitment or endorsement to purchase from any vendor, but this is being recorded. We populate this and we make this available to everybody for free. So if you have any questions, please pop them. You can raise your hand. You can pop it in the Q&A. You can put it in the chat. I'll try to pay attention to that. Right, Nikita? You'll also try to pay attention to that.
oh yeah, I got you.
Monica has a question already. Hold on a second, Monica. Let's go. Monica Cherry, you got a question? Or you're just saying hi? You can unmute if you want. You there, Monica? All right. Well, let us know if you get that mic working. We'll get it going. We love the feedback. It's all good. No worries. You don't have to worry about it. If you'd love to chat, we love that. We also love the feedback. And we promise that we will connect you with experts, and we'll have shameless plugs for our sponsors and partners, including Rafael Marrero and Company. And Rafa, you got a new company you could talk about too, right?
That's right. GovConf. Yes, we will. Yep.
That's a fact. So we'll do that. And those shameless plugs for our sponsors and partners, especially Sam Radar, because this is sponsored by Sam Radar and ISI Federal, by the way, because we can't do this alone. Right, Nikita? Can't do it alone.
Cannot. It takes a village to raise kids, and it takes a village to do government contracts.
That is a fact. And we're going to villagize everybody. How you like that? I'm making up words as we go. Session docs. Did everybody get those? Let me make sure everybody can get those. Boom. The top link, if you would click on that, you'll see in the chat. Can you get to it? Number one. Can you get to that? Let me make sure it works. Should look something like this.
Yes.
You got it? All working?
Yep. I'm able to get
it to it, let us know. We just transitioned finally to Nextcloud. We were using Zoho, but we kicked that to the curb. So let me know if that's actually working for you. Within there, you're going to find the window of opportunity matrix. You're going to find the spending report for 2025, which we'll take a look at, as well as year-to-date spending report for 2026. And I know everybody knows that we're in calendar year 2026, but we're actually in Q2, Rafael Marrero, of fiscal year 2026, and they're still working on the budget to figure out where the money's going to go.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. But I'm going to put in a formal complaint, and we'll see how that goes. How about that?
Yep.
So you can find that in there. So what does the fiscal year 2025 spending report tell us? Let's take a look at it. For everybody who hasn't seen this before, all this data is provided by two federal government systems, fpds.gov and sam.gov. And I will be presenting on sam.gov, right, Nikita? I'm going to be presenting on that later. Yeah, we're halfway through Q2. That's right, Michael. So these two systems gives us the information that we're going to look at today. And it's all done by the reason I package it this way, in case you guys don't know, the reason I packaged this way was when I looked at the difference between FPDS and SAM.gov. FPDS is where you report your contracts as a contracting officer. They feed in all the reports for what was awarded. And SAM.gov is where we find our opportunities. So number of offers received makes sense, right? So you have how many offers are received from folks like you on contracts that are awarded. Does that make sense for everybody? Everybody good? Now watch this action. Look at the ones that are not reported or won. And if you talk to a contracting officer, not reported means won, usually. And you'll see that it's 80% of the contracts and 60% of the dollars are zero competition, ladies and gentlemen. Thumbs up if this is where you want to be. Pop that into the chat and let us, or thumbs up in the emoji thing. What do you call those things? There you go. I don't know what they're called, but you found them. All right, so this is where we want to be. And look at this, folks. 89% of the contracts and 93% of the dollars, folks, shortlisted. And thumbs up if this is where you want to be. How much better would we do if we're one of 5 companies as opposed to 50? Now Nikita and I always disagree on this, but we agree that you should bid, right? But you wind up bidding on everything, don't you? Nikita, that's your play? You still there?
I do. I am. I'm sorry. I had to step away for just a second, but I bid on everything because if you don't bid, you don't have the opportunity. It helps you know what questions to ask it. And if they go for a recompete, you've already got your first questions out of the way. If you want additional clarification, you get another opportunity to ask them. And I love building the rapport with the contracting officer. If I'm responsive when it's out of my class, guess what? If I'm responsive when it's in my class, I'm meeting their parameters.
I love it. I love that. Now let's take a look real quick, because this is why I like looking at the whole market, not just on sam.gov, which I will be talking about at 1 p.m. today. Shameless plug number 2 for that, just so you know. So sam.gov, the difference, that triangle is delta, the difference in 2025 is 6.7 million contracts, Rafael Marrero. In case you didn't know, that's how many were not showing up on sam.gov. I like that. So, makes you go, Things that make you go, All right. So the objective is to be one of the 5, right? So we can eventually get ourselves to be 1. Anybody out there ever been awarded a contract that didn't have any competition? Anybody?
Yeah.
Am I the only one? How about you? You did, Nikita, right?
Oh yeah.
Or you're the only offer received. So we're going to talk about that some. So let me ask you this. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta end the other poll. Get my glasses back on so I can see this. End this poll now. I'm going to get this one too. Hold on. STG.
Hey, while you're doing that, I want to answer one of the questions that's in the Q&A is, can you explain exactly what no competition means?
You bet. That means you're the only one. Or the winner's the only one.
So
that's what no competition means. That means that you were actually helping create it, or we'll talk a little bit about that. I like that idea. So what do you think does that make sense? That you're the only one that bid, or that company was the only one that bid? Oftentimes they're the only ones that know about it. How about that?
Or if they put it in a weird NAICS code, like computers under soybeans. People have NAICS code that they only follow.
You mean some trickery?
No, some chicanery.
Oh, trichology. Trichology.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the truth. So let me know if you knew anything about those missing contracts.
Or
You always like to do. So what about fiscal year 2026? Watch this one, guys. This is brand new. I hadn't seen this yet, but you can get these reports. Actually, I think it's in the handouts. I think both these reports are in the handouts. If they're not, let me know. I'll make sure I drop them in there. But fiscal year 2026 to date, we're looking at a delta, or the difference being 869,000 so far this fiscal year because of what we have on sam.gov. So there's something about this report that we found that happened at the end of last year. That's calendar year. 8 tribal 8As were deobligated the money, which goes directly to this bottom line on this particular report. Now, it shouldn't go against the bottom line, but it does. And if the contracting officers report this wrong, I can't change that. But the reason why I pull this out is when you find this, all of the deobligated money are from 8A tribal organizations, which it was a competed 8A is what it was, and they removed the money. And you can find that in those reports. And you can also join us on Friday. Brian Hebel, I don't think Brian's here. He just literally flew back overnight from Hawaii. So I doubt very seriously he's conscious right now. But I know that's a shame. Everybody's just everybody's crying for Brian because he flew back from Hawaii.
because he's unconscious. So what else is for you?
Right. He's a former federal contracting officer.
Right.
He'll be talking about this on Friday. And we give Brian a hard time primarily because of something he did on the Monday round.
Nothing but love. Nothing but love.
Nothing but love. He's awesome. We do a lot of work together, Brian and I. So there's over $27 billion in expiring 8A contracts. And now the big deal is contracting officers used to take an act of God, Rafa, to get it out of there. Not Congress, but an act of God to get it out of the SBA 8A program. But now the new FAR regulations enable contracting officers to remove those contracts and put them out other ways. Most of these are going to small businesses right now, being recompeted in a different category. And if you don't believe that the 8A program is being dismantled, join us on Friday because you're going to see it. We have some real life. And we actually did some reviews of one of the case studies yesterday, right, Nikita?
We did.
Where Jerry talked about he's an 8A. He pulled all his stuff. They said, we're not going to do it under 8A. They said, let's do it under GSA. He said, no. They said, no, can't do it under GSA because you're an 8A. So they found a partner with a single award blanket purchase agreement and ran it through that indefinite delivery vehicle. So we're going to be talking about, what's that?
I wanted to let you know. So part of Sam Radar supporting this, I'm actually a user of Sam Radar and I love it. This morning, I got a notification for a procurement under 8A, but in the fine print, it said you need to be service disabled, veteran owned, or a women owned small business. So even on sam.gov, it's still saying 8A, but they're not actually wanting it to an 8A. They're actually wanting a service disabled, veteran owned, or women owned small business as the first tier.
Wow, that's new.
Yep.
So they're doubling, they're putting it out both ways. Wow, interesting.
Mhm.
Love that.
In one procurement.
If you want to know more about that, one of the links in your handouts is there. All right, let's talk about success in 2026. And
Hold on, Dave. Hold on, real quick. This is a great question, and Rafa could actually speak to this potentially. Should we take off any 8A certifications off of marketing material?
No. First and foremost, you don't start with the small business cert, right? And de-emphasize them. Focus on what they're looking for, and then mention the others. For example, I did a query yesterday for Texas-based construction firms. We were facing the same issue right there. Same issue with the Texas market. Construction with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, right? So we were doing a study. We found that a lot of the companies that they were cert stacking, right? So people who had multiple certifications were able to leverage the latter, right? So don't lead with the certification. Lead with your capabilities. Very important, and certainly de-emphasize that, but also underscore there are other options that you have available at the contracting office already has an acquisition strategy that contemplates fulfilling that via another mechanism. So you have other socioeconomic certifications, but you have the professional qualifications, most importantly. And if there's another contracting vehicle that they want to put in place, that you'd work with them in finding a solution. I think that's the approach.
And if you're wondering who's talking right now, this is Rafael Marrero and Company, and they help folks prepare for the market. In fact, what Jack Lopez is asking, what's the best way to get these certifications? Rafael Marrero, softball for you.
Right here. Yeah. We can help. We'll give you a free consultation, no strings attached, no BS, and no hidden costs or fees. Nikita can attest to that, and several other members of the team. We will give you a no-nonsense response. We will evaluate your case. We will tell you exactly where you stand. We will help you position your company with the right mechanisms. For example, we prepare the contractor marketing and branding that the contracting officers are looking for, because we know this. How do we know this? Well, I was a former procurement executive for a Fortune 500 and managed hundreds of vendors worth billions of dollars in annual contracts. So we help prepare you for the way you need to look. So you look the part and you are procurement and contract ready with powerful capability statements, capabilities briefings, video capability statements, websites, etc.
Don't forget your small business profile. Most people forget to update their small business profile, and it's lacking, and that's public. People are going to check that before they check your sam.gov UEI. Use your UEI to find it, but I'm just saying they're going to look at that first.
Small business search profile is fundamental. Yeah.
I love it. So this is the report back from, did you know about the 98%? Yes, and you wanted some. You must have heard me talk about it before. That's the first thing. And maybe you knew something was missing. It's almost even up, guys. And nobody doesn't believe me, Denise. Everybody believes me.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want some, that's what we're talking about today with Sam Radar. You can go to samradar.com. You can sign up for free, and you will start to see contracts that never showed up on sam.gov. So we've done a good job of doing that for sure, for letting people know what's happening there. Real quick, I'm going to go through a couple things of what preparation and pursuit looks like. So if you think about this, we're going to start with monitoring, and that could be sam.gov monitoring, right? And you're bidding like Nikita does. You can also be looking at what's happening every day in the award category for the pieces that aren't showing up on sam.gov. Then that gives us the ability to engage. And the fact of the matter is, the sooner you engage after you see something hit, the better off you are, which is why we look at Sam Radar. And as I mentioned, you don't get a guarantee for joining up today, but if you sign up for Sam Radar and you stick with it, we will guarantee you'll win 10 times the amount, 10 times the amount that you invest in Sam Radar, or you get 100% of your money back. Give me a system that does that. Ultimately, we want to get to a place where we minimize the competition. That's exactly what you saw in the reports that we looked at earlier, so that we can win in fiscal year 2026. Another way.
Dave, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
So I'm actively a government procurement. Like, I do it for multiple companies. I consult with Sally. I actually work for 2 different companies. The time I was spending in sam.gov alone for what it would have cost my company to search the procurements, to have Sam Radar, and there is a 7-day free trial for you to get it. It saves my company time because it makes me more effective as an employee. I'm just saying, I don't have to be in sam.gov 4, 5, 6 times a day because there's updates all the time. You have the East Coast, you have the Central, you have the Mountain, you have the Pacific, and then you have Hawaii time, which was one of my favorites. Was Hawaii time is 6 hours from the East Coast. So I was in it constantly, making sure I'm not missing it, because sometimes during peak contracting season, you get a 24-hour turnaround. How are you going to have everything ready to go? You work with Rafa, you get all of those documents ready. You work with Sally White, you make sure your branding is on point. You make sure everything's there. You work with Denise if you need those grants. You work with Peter Titmus for funding to make sure you're ready to go. But easing my job responsibilities by not having to search PSD codes and keywords in SAM.gov and just having it direct to my inbox, it's saving my company a lot of money.
Well, and it's funny you say that. God bless, was it you, Denise? God bless you. That was you.
No, not me.
Okay, somebody else.
Not me.
It's interesting you say that because one of the things that we did when we built Sam Radar was to make it affordable immediately. So, and if anybody here makes more than $22 an hour, if you're spending your time doing research, which you don't get paid for research last time I checked, then you're going to be able to save money right there. Now, so that one side of the equation, right, is reaching out and engaging the buyers, right, Nikita? That's what Sam Radar does. And the other side is being able to get to your program managers and your project managers. Now, I will say this, there's something that's coming up on Thursday that you can check out for reaching federal stakeholders. We're actually doing a session to Govy, so you can see how the system works, and you can find out about that today. On GovBrief, you can sign up. It's free. You can see how interagency briefings work because a client of ours, Divine, is presenting on Thursday. So please sign up for that. You can find that on GovBrief. You can also find on GovBrief at 1 p.m. today, I will be talking about some SAM.gov opportunities. All right, so let's get to the hot seat question number one. What are contractors' biggest challenges in 2026? I'm going to go back to see what they filled out, if anybody filled out earlier when they were coming in. So, Rafael Marrero, what do you see as the biggest challenge in 2026 for contractors?
Well, first challenge for small businesses, that is the whole reorganizing and reallocation or de-obligation of funding, right? That's going to present a challenge, but at the same time, it presents an opportunity for you to truly focus on marketing your core expertise and punching up your value proposition and your messaging. That's very important. For far too long, we've relied on other things rather than focusing on what we can deliver, what the pain points that we can address, right? So let's focus on technical expertise, your capability statements, everything that you propose and how you can solve. The client is, if the client is your government, if the government is your client, I'm sorry, and you're trying to fill a gap or discover an uncovered need, this is the way to do it. And I strongly urge you to critically look at and examine your online profile, like Nikita said earlier. That would be the first step there in looking at your SAM profile and your DSBS, which is now called a small business search. If your materials don't track to what you have, then there is a problem. If you have any discrepancies in metrics, any information that could subject you to open you up to scrutiny, or could trigger an audit, that's very concerning. Claiming self-certified disadvantaged business on your profile, if there are any discrepancies with your socioeconomic conditions, that could trigger an audit too. So please do yourself a favor, book a 15-minute expert consultation with us. There's no strings attached. There's no gotchas. Everyone here in the room knows how we operate. We will give you a fair assessment. We will tell you exactly what you need to look at. And at the end of the consultation, if you feel we can help you with any one of those things, we'll be happy to help. Seriously. Okay.
I love it. That's awesome. I agree entirely. How about you, Denise? What do you think for what's happening for this year, and what's one of the biggest challenges that the contractors have?
Well, as we see more and more RFPs come out, not RFQs, but actual need for proposals, I'm finding that folks are just kind of behind on having their narrative, being able to be very clear up front what they're offering. And if they're doing the work in Sam Radar and they're looking at their competitors, then they know what the gaps are, and they need to have clear, written wording around how they are filling those gaps, how they're, better than who they're using as their prime currently. So, as part of what we do is, and it's free for us to do an assessment to see where you are, what you're submitting. As often folks come and say, I thought, but we didn't get it. I'm like, yeah, because what you were offering was in paragraph 6, not in paragraph 1. So really trying to assess that narrative.
I love that. And we got a question. We got a question here, or at least some comments here. trying to see if we should pursue government work, because maybe you shouldn't, right? Maybe it's not the right time to do it.
There's that. Mhm.
Love that. And I find, at least to me, because of what's happening in the marketplace and the changes in the FAR, there's a lot of changes in the FAR. I'm finding that a lot of the new folks, people that are coming in new, have an advantage of folks that have been around for a while, because there's a lot of changes for folks that have been here. And the folks that are new folks, they don't know any different. So they just come in like I did back in 2007, didn't know jack, by the way. I didn't know a thing. I didn't have any experience. And because of that, I didn't know about the past. And I think because of some of the changes or some of the challenges too. Challenges for the people that have existing work, and then opportunities for those who don't. There's a couple other pieces here: how to get direct contracts, how to search the websites on sam.gov and Sam Radar, and examples of competing bids, right? So that's another place. Nikita, can you talk about that a little bit? How you go about what you do to find the business, and when you're looking for work?
So there's a couple different things. I actually start before the bids, and I want to know who my competitors are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to FPDS and I pull up my major competitors. I look at bids that they've been awarded. And then it's stupid, but there's a little box in FPDS that has often the original sam.gov publication. I copy that, go to sam.gov, pull it up, see how I would bid it, so I know whether I'm actually market competitive with them or not. That is very, very detailed work, and it takes time, but it's one of the ways to make sure you're bidding competitively on the public space. I reach out to contracting officers. I reach out to the VA small business representatives, which I heard they're kind of going away, but I still have some that are in my inbox that I can reach out to. I know they still respond, where I send them my CAPE statement every time I update it. So they put it into their database. So if someone needs something, I'm already in the VISN database for reference, which is one less than just having the CAPE statement on your DSP.
That's for VA, right?
That's for VA, but IHS has something similar. DOW, sorry, I'm gonna make sure I get that right. The DOW has
You'll get
something similar.
reported to the Trump administration if you do DOD, Rafa.
That's right.
Each branch has its own options, but then you also have hubs. And so I originally started this in pharmaceuticals, right? And IHS has a central pharmacy hub, VA has a central pharmacy hub, DOW has a central pharmacy hub, but they all kind of interconnect and work with the VA's PBM. And so for me, finding that network flow.
PDM, what's a PDM?
PBM, Policy Benefits Manager, or Pharmacy Benefits Manager, depending on who you're talking to. But knowing your individual market. Yeah. Ask questions, use AI. I'm a huge fan of just asking, hey, if I'm going to do something, who would I reach out to? Have it do the work for you.
I love that. So somebody was talking in the one of the biggest problems that they have is IDIQ lists, right? So that's an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, similar to BPAs, right, Rafa?
Yeah.
So,
right.
So IDIQ lists, they're generally bid on sam.gov, not always, but generally. There's over 25,000 BPAs and IDIQs. Did you guys know that?
Wow.
Okay.
That's not GSA contracts. I'm talking about individual BPAs and IDIQs. Now they're starting to lasso those in and transition those to GSA, especially the big ones. We found out yesterday that what was it? CIOSP. Which one was it yesterday that Jerry brought up, Nikita? Or
I don't remember the acronym because it's
one of the IDIQs, the big ones, NITAC.
Oh yes.
CIOSP4 is NITAC.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yep. So that's being transitioned. So be watching GSA for those, I would say. Tracking opportunities, finding teaming partners, definitely a challenge for folks, right? So one of the things I will say is if you are looking at teaming partners, certainly look at Sam Radar, because that'll do is it'll put you in a place where you're looking at the awardees, right? Something that got awarded yesterday or the day before, and that gives you the ability to reach out to the prime, number one, or reach out to the buyer and get a referral to the prime. One of my favorite things to do using Sam Radar, and we'll get there. So,
Hey, Dave.
what's that? Yep.
The other thing is reach out to the people here. So I started a new industry in January, right? And we did our case statement review with Rafa. And he was like, oh, by the way, this market would be good for you. And it's dibs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, but knowing different regions, knowing different options, asking questions, pick up the phone and ask questions, send an email.
Absolutely. Yeah. Defense logistics, if you're a small business and you provide products and or services in any one of the 9 supply chains served by Defense Logistics Agency, you should be registered in DIBS, in the Defense Information Systems, a bulletin board service. Do your
bulletin board system. That's a current technology.
Oh yeah, it's 25th century. But to their credit, 84% of their spend is with small businesses. So you like them apples.
That's true. In fact, I do want to talk about the defense industrial base real quick.
Yep.
Todd's not here with us, I don't think. He may be popping in. He had another appointment, so he blew us off, Nikita. So
we should have him with this gray beard, though. I mean, I think it would be appropriate, right? The gray beard.
That would be true.
Yeah.
So he runs Graybeard Cybersecurity. He's actually doing a session on CMMC. If you're not familiar with that and you want to do work, and not necessarily DLA, although some of the work you're going to need CMMC for DLA. Most of the work for DOD, if you're in the Defense Industrial Base, the DIB, or you want to be doing work with the Department of War, you will need to have CMMC certifications. Whether you're a prime or a sub, it's driven down through all the organizations. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out by looking at Todd Crane. You can reach out to him right there with his email. So what I love about what you guys are talking about, and there's something else I want to plug in just a minute, dealing with some finances and financial things. I do want to, let's see, there was a question here.
I'm answering the one in the Q&A.
You're answering the one in the Q&A? Okay, cool. So what I would say is this, and I don't know what this other thing is for everybody, but I do want to mention that one of the challenges that contractors have is that they don't look the part on preparation, right, Rafa? And they don't look the part for being financially stable. Some, and there's circumstances with the government where you can win as a $1 million company, you can win a $10 million contract, and your bank is going to look at you like you got 4 heads. I've seen it happen multiple times, and what will happen is it puts them at risk. So I would reach out to Peter Timbus with TFN Lending. Peter is a great guy. He's not here today because he's driving overnight. So I just want to make sure that you guys know about him before we get to the next question. Hot seat question number 2. What's the one thing that contractors can do today to help them win business in fiscal year 2026? And now I'm gonna ask Denise first. What do you think folks can do, Denise? What's one of the things they can do?
Build relationships. Still.
Yeah, love that.
Using Sam Radar.
Yep.
Yeah. I wish Jerry was here because he's really good at using that and spending time, reaching out to folks, setting aside half an hour, 45 minutes every day to reach out to those contract officers you're looking for, and offering to help them, making suggestions. This is not where you submit your capability statement. This is where you're just sending them a line or two, and Sam Radar will even give you guidance on what to say and when to say it. But that is within your control and something you can do every day.
I love it. And what do you think, Rafa? What can they do right now to help themselves win in fiscal year 2026?
I would go over all of your Marcom materials like right away. I would go over everything that you have that's in print, that's out there on the internet. Take a look at it, take a hard look at it, and be critical. Take this as an opportunity to look at yourself and say, how can I shine in front of the prospective buyers, right? What am I saying that could be improved, right, in order to get their attention, right? And I think that would be very, very helpful. I would say, get the help and advice of an outsider looking in, right? And someone with a procurement background and someone that understands procurement and supply chain management. And like I said, we're very happy to do that because we understand it. We habla español and we also fala portugués. Okay, so
one piggyback on that with Rafael. I have seen several capability statements come across my desk lately, and you can tell whether somebody is really trying to sell to the government or if they're looking at commercial private opportunities. And there's a difference in how it's positioned and what it looks like. And it's not just about a list of NACES codes. So, you know, it's critical to spend that time. If you don't know what you don't know, then reach out to who knows. And that would be Dr. Rafael Marrero.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Denise. Thank you.
And I talked to contracting officers too over the years, and they know right away whether or not you're ready. So if you don't look like you're ready, you're not. And I'll say this: if you think you have your marketing ready, you can say yes. Or if you say no or not sure, we'll make sure that you can talk to Dr. Rafael Marrero and his staff.
Yep.
You can get just. It's not going to cost you anything, right?
So on Friday, I did what would be my third review with Rafa for a CAPE statement for a company. And he had a tidbit of information that I learned, and I learn something every time I talk to him. So it's amazing. Print is back in. And he said, do you have a postcard you could send out just with a little line? Printed mail, USPS, snail mail is back in because it's something physical. It's something that's in front of them. Email is always there. How many emails do people have that are unread in their inbox right now? I know we're attentive. I have two. But I'm saying you look at my personal one and it's thousands, right? And so you can easily get lost in the shuffle. But he was like, bring it back to the basics. And I was like, how smart is that? So sorry, he didn't bring it up. I wanted to bring it up because it's something we're assessing in part of the individual review I got on Friday.
So like Olivia Newton-John said, let's get physical. Bring back physical mail, right?
Oh my!
I just dated myself with that reference.
Yeah, you did. Well, we've been dating ourselves with bulletin boards and snail mail. That's what we've been doing.
But I also want to say this, Dave. You didn't call me, and I'm going to say this. Sam Radar gives it right to your inbox, right? But there's another piece, and it said it was rapid response. On my profile, you can see, and this is what I do for day. I do protests and awards, right? But before that, you have to know the solicitation. You have to read the solicitation. You have to know when it's actually awarded because the time starts then. You get a 72-hour clock. It doesn't matter if it's business days or not. It's a 72-hour clock to submit a debriefing request.
Oh, I like that. For those of you who don't know what she's talking about, after you bid, ask for a formal debrief. They may not give it to you, but if you don't ask, you're never going to get it. So, and Michael said deleted 197,000 emails a couple of weeks ago from my mailbox. My gosh, Michael, that is crazy. I delete probably 1,000 a week, if not 2,000 a week. So, so real quick, one more thing that I would say, if you're building those relationships, and you mentioned this, Denise, critically important to build relationships with the buyer and the program people. The problem is there's no list or no connectivity with program people, right? Everybody know that. You can't just find those folks, right? I'd love to have a list. If I had a list, I would be after them every day. So one thing What I would say this is GovBrief. The reason I built GovBrief selfishly back in 2012 is to get the meetings with the program managers because I couldn't get to them. I didn't even know who they were. So what we did is we have a database now of over 1 million federal employees. Problem is we don't know really what they do. What we do is we market to them. And what we have here, this is an example that's happening on Thursday, right? That is Thursday, right? February 12th is Thursday. So Thursday is an example. If you want to see how it works, you'll see it. We already have 40 federal project managers and program managers coming on Thursday, and we haven't even finished marketing. So we know that we're going to have the people there. The objective is to get you in front of those folks. And this is to educate, not to promote. There's a time for promoting using your pitch deck, right, Rafa?
Absolutely.
There's a time for that. That is not this. This is to let people know, number one, that you're alive, that you exist. Number two, you get to engage with the project managers. This includes some senior people, some administrators as well, but your project managers, end users, the federal customers is going to use what your product or your service is. They need to know that you exist and that you're a subject matter expert. When you are considered a subject matter expert, they're going to come to you. So check it out. And if you'd like to schedule a time to talk about that marketing using GovBrief, feel free to do that in the handouts or actually on the chat. Let me make sure that's still there. You can request some time with me. That's the bottom link. Schedule a federal marketing conversation with me and my team, and we'll tell you how we do it. We brought on somebody new last week. We have multiple people that we push this out to, and they join the sessions. That's the most important thing. They come to the sessions. And it is virtual. We were doing virtual before it was cool with COVID, just in case you...
Hey, Dave, you always forget this point, and I have to say this. I did this with my previous pharmaceutical company I was working with. We did this. We got 35 people, government valid contacts, all new, all able to reach out to. They get a video back, just like you will. This was published for attending or not attending. They get a video link so they can go and watch it, whether they register or not. But you can also send Dave and his team your contact list, not just his. And so I'm someone who I have a whole list, Excel list of government people I've talked to. And I said, I want them to show up. I sent it to his team and they send out multiple email reminders to make sure that if they saw it and they didn't register, they get another opportunity. They do it morning of, day before, which I loved. And then also, I think it's a couple weeks before to let you know. But it gets you there in front of them. Yep. Another piece to that on top of GovBrief is Sally White. If you want to go to a conference and you want to present, she can help you actually become a presenter, to be an SME, to get to the people you need to get to have them say, maybe I really do need to learn more about that. Or, hey, I need that. I just didn't know about it. If you want conferences, you want any consultation, she does a 15-minute consultation as well. We had someone in here asking, how do I actually bring someone on board? I need someone to help me with procurement and streamlining and figuring this out. Sally has a whole team around her. She has a former GSA agent around her, everything. She can connect you. If you're trying to find somebody, she may be able to help you through her connections as well. So she's at West 26 right now, big conference. Can't be here, but I just need to say, you have a team here. Denise is phenomenal to work with. Rafa is phenomenal to work with. Todd, obviously not here, but CMMC, if you want to blow your mind, talk with Todd. You have a team here. It's all free for the 15-minute initials. If you want to move past that, that is up to you. But Denise was saying, ask the question if you don't know.
Yes,
this is what this platform's for.
And additionally, I'm just going to give a shout out to Nikita. So here's where you can find this. I'm going to paste this in here for everybody to see. This is the briefing that you mentioned is on demand. You can get to it for free. Yep. You can check that out. And this is the session that you had. You said 35 folks now that you're pursuing, and you're no longer with that company, but that doesn't matter because we still promote, right? And you also did Bend Award Protest, which was what you mentioned earlier. I love this because she's a DIYer.
Yes.
Not a lawyer. And she's one of the Just saying.
Everything I've learned, I had to learn myself because my company had the policy, and a lot of companies have this policy. If I'm paying you, why do I pay someone else?
That's true.
I heard that. But you can find those on govbrief.us. You can find a whole bunch of other things there as well. I just want to make sure that I tried to find it. I tried to do pharma looking it up. I didn't. Anyway, just check it out on GovBrief. You can see. All right, we're going to get you guys out of here.
Hey, Dave, one quick thing.
Yep.
I am seeing an increase in for-profit grants all of a sudden.
You are?
I am. It's exciting. Lots to do the end of this month. So some quick turnarounds, which is what we expected since a lot of stuff has been on hold. It's going to explode and everywhere from infrastructure, transportation to oceanography. So kind of all over the map. And these are for-profit, yes, for your business, grants, free money, not loans, available in the federal marketplace.
I love it. So reach out to Denise for those, because that's your specialty. I didn't even know they existed, and she's schooled me on it multiple times now. So get in touch with Denise for that. You got your stuff in the chat, right, Denise?
I do. I'm gonna put it in again. Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna just to make sure you have enough time to answer this. Let us know if you need any additional help. As we're trying to close out here. We love to answer some other questions. If you would like to ask some, or if you'd like to engage in any other way, let us know. But we're going to tell you, no matter what, you need to move, because you being registered on sam.gov and that phone not ringing is the government not calling you, right, Rafa?
Yeah, it's not going to be hello.
They're not. They didn't wake up this morning and say, doggone, I'm glad that you showed up on sam.gov. But you do want to look good when you're there, which is why we do that with Rafa, and we promote Rafa here, one of my good friends. But watch all the contract activity, not just what's on sam.gov.
That's right.
And then you can be identifying and engaging those buyers. You can use a winnable opportunity matrix if you want to take a look at that. If you sign up for anything, Sam Radar or any of the briefings, you can come to the Monday roundtables, which we did. We did $500 million last year, $500 million in that between Sam Radar members and the folks that are there. And then do your research, prepare yourself, make sure you're doing the right thing. Holy cow, there, Nikita. Mute that.
Hey.
Mute the background.
Sorry, I was typing and I forgot my 3-year-old. I apologize.
It's all good. Make sure you're marketing hard. That includes every aspect. You can still do emails, you can still do phone, you can do the postcards like you do, Rafa. I love that play. Anything that gets you out in front of those people. Feel free to join me today on GovBrief. You can find this. I'll be at 1 p.m. today. I do the sam.gov opportunity tutorial every month at 1 p.m. on the second Tuesday, so you can join me for that. And I will say this. Dismantling the 8A program means work for you if you're an 8A or not. And there's differing opinions. We asked that question earlier of whether or not you should take your information off. I know Jerry took it off. Jerry took every reference to 8A off because he knows some of the agencies that he's after are absolutely not using 8A right now. We hope that it comes back. We hope that they get it cleaned up. But over 1,000, think about this, 4,300 of the 4,300 that were asked to provide their financials for 3 years, 1,000 didn't. 1,000. So there's only 2 reasons why you wouldn't do it. Maybe you don't have business with the government right now, and it wasn't worth your time, right, Rafa?
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
Or you got something in your financials you don't want everybody to see. So
you got some explaining to do, Ricky.
Yeah, that's right. You got some explaining to do. But we're seeing this change happening right now. And with $27 billion in expiring contracts this year alone, there's opportunities for people to come in, and most of that's going to small business from what we see. I'll be talking about that with Brian, sorry, Rafa, on Friday, the 13th of all things at 1 p.m. And then I'll be talking about sole source contracts, which is not 8A oriented. Everybody here, just about everybody here, can win a direct award sole source contract. Did you know that? I did it. Two things that I'll tell you. I did it for commoditized toner cartridges, and I did it for commoditized computers. What are you talking about? That's right. Single award. So there you go. And then we also have, is this working? Got that one. And we have fpds.gov that I'll be talking about. That's where we do a review of FPDS. You mentioned that, Nikita. We do that on the 26th. And then Todd will be talking about evaluating compliance solutions for CMMC on March 5th. So that's before our next session. So if you're interested in anything to do with the defense industrial base, please check that out. Any questions before we get out of here? Want to make sure you got your chance to be able to ask questions. So let us know, raise your hand, put in the Q&A. I want to thank Rafael Marrero for joining me today, my good friend. I'm not far from you. You coming down to see me?
Oh, yes, I am. I got my shorts ready. So let's go.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
And while Sally White's not here, we mentioned her name a couple of times with Echo Wolf. She is great at helping folks at events, right, Nikita?
Yeah, she is
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Yep.
Fantastic.
She does a great job, and she does a lot of work with LinkedIn, making sure you're looking the part. If you're interested in the defense industrial base, I mentioned Todd Crane. You can reach out to him. We have Denise B. Lawrence, who helps with for-profit grants as well as other solicitations, right?
Yes.
Denise?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to do that. And Nikita, we got to get some information for you up here so that they can contact you. I don't have that on the slide yet because we were in transition.
That's because she has 15 jobs, Dave.
Her new name is Marco Rubio.
Oh my gosh.
I got 15 jobs, man.
Sorry, I went through a 2026 changeover. Company I'd been with for since 2018, did a change, and I'm happy, but I'm still getting the bugs worked out. Let's just say that. And this is the
All
bug.
right, well, if you need, but I love it because Nikita comes and does things on GovBrief as a do-it-yourselfer because she's done it, and I love that she takes on anything. When are we going to do the GSA thing? We going to do it?
When they publish the information, I'm waiting on the new update.
Okay. Well, there we go.
They were undergoing a change with GSA where they said they were going to be removing approximately 480 documents from the application, and there was over 600 I read initially. So, and then they're changing and removing a bunch of the obsolete FAR clauses. So I've been trying to find the update that happened with that. Sally has, I know her name starts with an S. I can't think of her name right now. The former GSA agent, and I've got a meeting scheduled with her to see what her thoughts are on it. So I want to do the GSA and DIYing your GSA application because I'm actually doing it for two companies. And yeah, we've got stuff in the works, but I didn't plan on changing jobs.
We need to talk. That comes out.
A lot of people that need it. So I also want to give a shout out to Peter Timbus. If you're not familiar with him, check him out. He can help you fund your business and also gives you, what is it called? A letter of financial support if you're doing a bid. So the contracting officers know that you're legit. So that's that.
Dave, we had this question yesterday. So someone was going through the SBA lending program and struggling, and they couldn't get the response they wanted to submit. So we sent them over to Peter to get that financial support letter so they could keep moving forward.
Love it. And we took Brian Hevel's name in vain a couple of times, right, Rafi?
He's not here. So
He's not here, man. You don't show up, you get brutalized. But he actually is very, very well connected, and he does training on FAR. I think he's doing a FAR training tomorrow. He's doing a FAR training tomorrow. And then he's doing we're doing the 8A thing on Friday. So he's busy back at work after lounging around in Oahu or something like that. But you can reach out to him at acquisitionhelp.com. We will see you next month. We'll stick around for a couple minutes if you have any questions. But we'll be back at it, and I'll be on the sam.gov tutorial. You can catch that on govbrief.us.
Don't
I'll have
forget,
this
Dave, if
poll.
you join Sam Radar, you're welcome to the Monday roundtables. Happens at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Mondays, Eastern time, if you're going to go by hours. And it's awesome. We have a lot of fun. We share a lot of industry knowledge. You can ask even more questions as you're getting to grow. So if you sign up and register for Sam Radar, you get access to that for free.
For free. My favorite 4-letter word. Free. All right. So I'm going to end that poll. If you need anything else, please feel free to reach out. Do we have any questions before we jump? I don't see anything. Do we?
I try to keep us up to date. So
You did great. You did great. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
As I'm flying down here in terribly terrible weather of Key Largo.
Even we have 70 today, sir. So
What you have? What?
70 degrees today.
70 degrees?
Watch
Man,
out.
you guys are in good shape up there today.
Yeah.
Denise, did you see what they're going to do on Friday, Saturday?
What?
Whether or not we're going to get the rain, thunder, or if we're going to get the ice, sleet, snow.
I know. I'm so like clearly need to move further south. I'm not south enough.
And I'm in Atlanta, and she's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not south.
All right, guys. I hope to see you today at 1 if you're interested in that. Otherwise, you can check out everything else on govbrief.us. We'll be glad to catch you up on that. And join me on Thursday for that session where you can see GovBrief at work, reaching the govies, which is one of the key areas for you to be able to get to where you want to go. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Rafa and Denise and Nikita, for joining me.
Real.
We're going to
Hey,
get
Dave, can
everybody
you reach
else
the
to read-
guitar for me real quick?
This one?
Yeah.
This one. This one right? This one. That is it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's crazy. They calling me out for my fakeness. Love it.
No, remember you said, "Oh, we're coming to you live from my virtual office
That's
in
right.
the Keys."
I already let everybody know that.
Yeah. That was
All
too
right.
funny. At least you didn't get up and get the guitar. Remember, like that time?
Yeah, I actually have that guitar with me this time. Don't usually do that, but anyhow, great to see you guys. Rafa, you got to get down here so we can have.
Yes, sir. Can I join you at 1:00?
You can join me at 1 o'clock. I'll
Okay,
put you
cool.
on-
Yeah, I'll join you.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys.
Okay, bye.
See you.
Bye.
And there's the secret thing, Rafa, 1 o'clock.